Yellow, it's Boy, and welcome to the Music Review Show, the only music review show on the internet. Today, we are doing the top 5 albums you need to hear. Coming in at number 5, we have The Snake That I Ran Over on Highway 111 Never Stopped Shaking Its Tail from Ghost Pepper Peter. Now, this is an album relatively new on the list, only coming out around 2 years ago. It's the newest on the list, in fact. Ghost Pepper Peter has been in the indie scene for about 4 years, but only recently has he crossed over into the more acoustic side, the more folk side, so to speak. Very reminiscent of a Bob Dylan. He's kind of taken the whole genre by storm. Now, that isn't to say that he is derivative by any means, but he is very inspired, you could say, by Bobby D. This is an album that will have you driving up to a cliffside on a hot afternoon, just watching the sun burn the horizon off. Coming in at number 4, we have a supremely underrated classic by Mario the Exhibitionist. Yes, that is the album name. I consider this to be one of the greatest experimental rock hop albums of all time. Comparable to a Florence Big Bear, it's hard to box in this artist, and within the timeline of albumoftheyear.com, this is definitely a staple when it comes to just hype, guitar based beats. All the electricity in town just went out. But what else is there to say? It's a classic, an unbeatable album, and there's no way to really talk about it. It's more of an album that you listen to and feel. No lyrics, no harmonies or melodies even. It's pure rhythm without a net. Except for the skit, the interlude skit of Mario robbing the Wells Fargo on 5th Avenue. It's a weird one. I think Spotify, they took that off of Spotify recently. I don't really consider it part of the album. Legally speaking, it's not even allowed to be on the album. But yeah, I mean, it's still, taking 45 minutes off the album is fine by me. I feel like the runtime was a little too long for some, and now without the 45-minute interlude, it is just the right pace. Moving on to number 3, we have Rotisserie Flavored Tobacco Straw by The Last Century Florists. Don't let the name fool you. This is, in fact, a pop single artist. This project is fucked up, to say the least. Dealing with subjects such as identity theft, dyslexia, climate denial, murder, retail hell. There's a lot of bases covered here by indie darling Sally Terrencefield. Just 1 year shy of leaving the group Eye Contact, she is in full defense mode. Full defense, going against all of the allegations that were held against her, and is fighting back against the press, the paparazzi, and it's safe to say that she's killing it in the public eye. It's my favorite pop album of the last 17,000 years. Number 2, we got Cry Me a River, My Little Freshwater Eel by The Shitstains. A black metal folk record, a lot of folk crossovers. Some can even call it crunk punk. This album fucking sucks. But it sucks in the best way possible. It's a little bit of a period piece, but I think that it's got just the right amount of thrash and heavy bass to fuck up your afternoon. This album is like if Ari Aster decided to get in the studio with Metro Boomin. It's a fucked up anthem for the recession. This album is like if your credit score was below 300 and you decided to turn on the radio. This album is like if you were stuck at a red light in front of an In-N-Out. This album was like hearing gunshots at the mall. An honorable mention is Songs for the Flat-Footed Swim Coach by Oklahoma Rye Bread. I only listened to this last night, so I can't really put it on the list. But it's one of the best albums of all time. Must listen if you are a fan of experimental hip hop. Now, number one is the live album, the reunion tour across the Galapagos by classic boy band from the 50s, The Bilge. Now, The Bilge were the first ever boy band. Some would call the pioneers of pop, the little brothers of dance, and the America's Most Wanted. This is a live album, but it's all original material, and it is sure to bring back any sort of nostalgia you have for any boy band. It's really the revival, some would say, of group pop. That being said, it does clock around 3 hours, but if you're willing to dedicate the time and pay the subscription for the paywall, you can actually listen to it in the original mono recordings.
They all got mono recordings, is what you're saying. All recordings.
No, they don't have mono. But the only way to listen to this is once you wait 45 days for the shipping, pay the shipping fee, you can receive a cracked vinyl pressing of the Bilge's live recording. And it's this Easter egg hunt of simply having to buy a physical release album and waiting 45 minutes that make it so rewarding to hear a classic. But like today, what do you call that? What do you call that? I call it the number one album that you must listen to. And there you have it. Leave a like if you liked. Leave a double hands emoji if I used way too much physical stimulation to keep you watching the video the whole time. And leave a dislike if you want me dead. I know I'm leaving one. I know my high school principal's leaving one. And I know the person driving this car is leaving one too. And with that, see you next time.